Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. Today is a Friday video instead of a beginning of the week, and I am so excited, and this was not even planned. I've just been so busy, so I scheduled it for today. Turns out today is Friday the 13th, and I couldn't be happier. Contrary to popular belief, Friday the 13th is not an unlucky day. Friday the 13th is the day of the goddess, and it's ruled by Venus, and Venus is the planet of love, the goddess of love. So how can this be unlucky? In no way, shape, or form. Also, the number 13 is ruled by the moon. And for any of you that live on the planet, right, you know that last night, 12/12, was the last full moon of the decade. Now, full moons are times of letting go, of shedding, of just taking away and releasing everything that is not meant for us and that is not for our highest good. But especially last night, since it's the last one of the decade, it's like everything that's transpired during the year, everything that we've collected physically, emotionally, mentally, everything that we carry with us that's not meant to stay on the next step of our journey, it's time to let it go. And if you didn't do that release last night, just with kindness and compassion and love in your heart, just let everything go. That's not meant to stay in your life. You don't want to hinder your journey. So with all of that said, that's why I'm so excited. Today is the 13th and I can do this video for you. It's like the universe saying, here's a brand new day for you to start over with nothing but love in your heart from here on. So for any of you that believe in intentions or setting goals for the new year or any of that stuff, why not make that your intention? Everything that you do it with a pure heart and nothing but love. And everything that's done with love turns into gold. That's always my mantra. I always say that. Sorry about that. That was a lot of babble, but that was your mystic chef moment of the day. Now, let's get down to business. Why you're really here is to learn a new recipe and just have a couple of laughs, right? So today's recipe, but first, thank you so much for your subscribes. You know, I have to say this, for liking, sharing, and subscribing. My goal is to reach 200 subscribers by the end of the year and just keep growing with this wonderful community of people that I have right now. You guys love my recipes. You ask questions. You're so respectful. I really appreciate that. So just keep the love coming. Mwah. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Okay, now serious business. Today's recipe is one of two Christmas recipes I'm going to give you. This one is a Puerto Rican dessert recipe. And for next week, we are doing a West Indian, like a main dish West Indian recipe. So the recipe for today in Puerto Rico, it's called arroz con dulce. In the West Indian way of saying it, direct translation, it's sweet rice. And in America, in the United States, it's called rice pudding. So 3 different names, same thing, except mine, of course, has my best friend. So let's start. I will show you roughly the ingredients. Again, remember, do not worry about precise measurements or anything. Everything you need is always in the description box. And if you just have questions, just drop me a note. I'll get back to you right away. So let's go. Okie doke. We are going to start our pot. We're going to heat it up and I will show you everything that goes in. So, ingredients are as follows. Heavy whipping cream, coconut milk, evaporated milk, condensed milk, cinnamon, nutmeg, really, really good vanilla. You guys, I know this is a little expensive, but if you want a kick-ass recipe, you need to invest in really good ingredients. So this is totally worth it. You just use a little bit and it goes such a long way. And also we'll use a little bit of fresh ginger, medium grain rice. And I think I've explained this before. I like using the medium grain because it's a tougher consistency and it doesn't break up and get all gross in the pot because it's gonna cook for a while. Of course, beautiful Bacardi. And cranberries, which have been soaked in Bacardi overnight. Amazing addition. You gotta try this. Okie doke. So, first step is getting all the milks inside the pot to a simmer. So let us do that first. Heavy whipping cream. And again, guys, this is my recipe, the way I do it. You will watch many other videos if you're interested in watching other videos, which you should not be at this point. They use different stuff, different milks, etc. This is how I do it. So, evaporated milk. And I'm putting the pot right now at a medium high just to get it to a nice simmer. Coconut milk. Any brand will do. Give me 1 second. Scoop that right in there. All of it. Okie doke. Now, while that gets to a simmer, what we're going to do is grate some ginger. We need about 1 teaspoon of freshly grated ginger. And with the ginger, I like to use it fresh. As you can see, I'm using the cinnamon and the nutmeg dried, but there's something about fresh ginger, you just can't beat it. Gives it such a, oh my goodness, such a delicious flavor. I'm seeing a mess and I'm freaking out. You know, I'm a little bit OCD. Okay. And yes, I could have done this on a plate, but why make it easy on me? There, that's about a teaspoon of fresh ginger. Now, this recipe, it's super simple, super easy, and really quick. So you're gonna love this video and you're gonna love making this for your people. I'm just gonna twirl this around and let it come to a simmer. And that coconut milk that's congealed, that's gotta break down also. So we're gonna leave this here until everything breaks down and it starts to lightly bubble. Rice, I just do everything in one pot. So we're going to give this a nice easy twirl. And we are going to let this cook on low for 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes, we'll come back. At this point, I see the liquid's getting a little bit low because this is a cast iron, so it cooks at a higher heat, higher temperature. I always keep an extra evaporated milk because of this. You don't want the rice to dry down. So I'm just gonna add maybe half a can extra. Just always keep it handy, never know. There, it's about half a can. Okey-doke, close this back up for the last 10 minutes and we'll come back. And I added half a can more of evaporated milk. So this is looking super yummy. The rice is nice and cooked. Nice and creamy. At this point, what I like to do, because we still have a couple more things to add to it, I am gonna leave it uncovered for, see that beautiful slow boil? Maybe 5 more minutes, so a little bit more of the milk can evaporate, because we'll be adding more ingredients to it. And I don't want it too liquid. So 5 more minutes, and we'll be back. Okie dokie, here we go. Let's see what this looks like. It smells amazing. Nice and thick now, but still creamy. See, that's the magic of just sitting and waiting. Just like life, nobody wants to sit and wait, right? Nobody is that patient, but it turns out beautifully. Everything when you're patient. I love this. Look at that. Here is where we're going to add the fun stuff. We are going to take 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. I love cinnamon. You could never go wrong with how much cinnamon you add. So that's why I'm adding a lot. If you're not crazy over cinnamon, don't add that much. But I am. Cinnamon, by the way, you guys, is the spice of love. Yes, everything is love with me. Adding 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. If you know anything about my cooking and about my food, it's super flavorful. Now remember that really good vanilla? I'm gonna add a drop of it. About half, maybe half a teaspoon. You don't need much of it because it's so potent. There. We haven't added any sugar, any white sugar, because what we're using to sweeten it is condensed milk. And that keeps it so creamy and delicious. And it's so hard for me right now not to stick my tongue in here and just lick this up. It's so good. Now I have 2 cans of evaporated, condensed milk. I have 2 cans of condensed milk. I'm just gonna check for sweetness and creaminess. And then I'll decide if I need a little bit more. I'm adding 1 for now. Always better to have extra than to have less when you're cooking. You know, I mean, extra stuff on the side. Okay, that's all in there. Now we're gonna give this a twirl and see where we're at. Where we're at is something beautiful. And we haven't even added the best part to it yet, which is coming. I need to try this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ridiculous. I think 1 can of condensed milk should do it. Now remember, our cranberries were soaked overnight in 1 cup of rum. That goes in right now. All of it. Doesn't that look Christmassy? It sure does to me. Looks and smells and tastes. Oh my goodness, you guys. All right, this is gonna sit again for another 5 minutes before I serve it. Also, you can stick it in the fridge overnight and serve it the next day. Once you stick it in the fridge, it's gonna come out thicker with a thicker consistency. So keep that extra condensed milk handy. You can always put some on it if it's too hard for you and you like it creamy like I do. Just pour a little bit of condensed milk in it and give it a twirl and it'll come back to its creaminess. So 5 more minutes and we'll serve it. Okay, beautiful people, here we go. That is some crazy good rice pudding. Arroz con dulce. Let's serve this up. And our pretty little Christmas platter. And again, guys, the longer you let it sit, the thicker it'll get. But I'm pretty impatient. I want to dig into it. There you go. Wipe it up. Bring it this way. Nice and clean. Add some extra cranberries because we're fancy. Small dash of cinnamon, spice of love. And here you have it. Arroz con dulce. Feliz Navidad.